The meta has gone through plenty of ups and downs lately because of the massive balance changes developers have made this year. So it's once again time to rank the weakest and strongest heroes, starting off with the weakest hero right now, which honestly makes me sad to say it, because I really enjoy playing her, and that would be Molly. Her gameplay mechanics are definitely charming, as you are allowed to go underground and still hear and see enemies topside, but after the disarm passive nerf, she has become useless. Unless you have some insane game sense to be able to know when and where to use her ability, and even after that, her weapon will most of the time screw you up because it's not reliable enough. Moving next to Bertha, which in my opinion, don't believe she's that bad, especially if you are a great team player. She can be surprisingly amazing as I'm seeing her more often in the matchmaking. But she's pretty easy to encounter because of her ability noise, and she has the worst aiming time. That's why, as I like to say, always. She needs a good team, otherwise you are just holding dead weight. The same could be said about Smog, even though he's probably worse than Bertha. I mean, Bertha has at least a crazy ability that can help her dominate the whole map just from one location. Unlike Smog, and his missile launcher ability are not really helping him so much, and he is being outplayed by almost every hero. You can easily dodge his rockets or even tank them with almost every hero. This makes Smog one of the worst heroes, in my opinion, besides Molly, of course. The next hero we have is Firefly. His sniper rifle is broken, but he lacks defense, as most of his passives and abilities are meant for aggressive attacking. Which means, if you are not sneaky, and you have some good map knowledge, you are probably going to suffer a lot against just shield heroes. You need to learn every corner and curve, and edge as a Firefly expert to be able to land those impossible shots from angles that enemies won't expect, and that's some really high-level skill. Moving next to Freddy. He is not entirely bad, thanks to the recent buff he has received. What truly makes Freddy hard to use is the fact that you have to adapt around his passives, as he has two different paces. His playstyle can feel both slow and fast at the same time, which can be a bit tricky to handle for beginners. Moving on to Tess, just to be clear, she's far from terrible. The only reason I gave her such a low rank is because of her limited vision range and pretty fragile health. However, her weapon and abilities on the other side are more than excellent, but the newest maps aren't exactly in her favor. Next is Stalker. The only problem with Stalker right now is his debuffs, which have increased his movement noise while being invisible. This nerf basically undermines the whole point of his invisibility. He is still a solid fella, though, because of his high damage weapon and the healing ability. Another solid hero that is being criminally underrated is Doc. He is a great support hero, with proper positioning. He can eliminate up to 3 enemies thanks to his large magazine and team healing ability. Keep in mind that you'll usually need a coordinated team before you can clutch with Doc. Moving to one of my most favored heroes in these previous seasons, and that is Cyclops. He can be extremely dangerous in pushing enemies and controlling the area with his scattered shots and blindness ability. He is an insane tool to put pressure on enemies, but it takes a unique mindset to play him in the correct way. Next up is the one-shot killer Slayer. He is undoubtedly the best sniper hero in the game based on the weapon's damage. In terms of raw weapon damage, he stands as the top sniper hero in my opinion, despite his slower firing speed and high bullet spread. As he can hit a full health bastion through walls and still deal impressive damage, Slayer with the scanner hero, such as Raven, can make him an unstoppable force. When it comes to Mirage, she's still got tons of potential like always. Her flexible, fast-adapting playstyle isn't going anywhere. But lately, it feels like every new hero being released just outranges her. That's kinda hurting her position in the current meta, but if you have all her mods unlocked, she can be fun again. Next up is the samurai, Satoshi. He's a bit of a special case capable of dealing huge damage, but he requires good movement skills to use effectively. Otherwise, you will be just roaming around wasting your bullets everywhere, as his fire spread is not to mess with. However, his force field ability comes in handy if you like to play him. Sparkle is next, the shotgun class queen. I know you have probably many opinions about her, but I personally think she's just fine in the middle. She has her own moments when she can be extremely useful in some specific lobbies. The only thing that makes Sparkle still worthy of upgrading to me is her personal gear set, which gives you an additional bullet. Up next is Dragoon, one of the most well-balanced heroes in the current meta. He's a solid pick with so many promising gameplay mechanics, as he can outperform several heroes we'll mention later in the S tier. Still, he shines best when used for specific purposes and paired with the right hero combinations. Moving to Blot, he can get ridiculously powerful with the right gear parts and mod attachments. The best thing about Blot among all snipers is that he is not very demanding to crazy skills, except for some basics like map knowledge to properly position yourself, and a good understanding of your area to stay aware of your hero limits. Same thing for our next hero, which is Ramsey. I see many players don't really know how to respect Ramsey's boundaries as they recklessly keep abusing his rampage ability, thinking they can run over everything. You first have to gather as much information as you can to be able to use his ability effectively and on multiple targets, if it's possible. The next hero ranking might be a little bit shocking for you. It's shocking even to me, but Bastion has actually got better. Statistically, he is the same Bastion as before, but when it comes to his encounters, he has become really strong and a feared opponent. One thing that still bothers me the most, however, is his slow movement speed. Next is Scratch. He is really awesome at those intense third-party fights, and he can tank so much damage. Still, I don't quite see him as a top-tier hero, since using his shield effectively requires a lot of persistence in movement and a very careful approach, which can be challenging, since everyone now knows how to hold their position. Moving to Hurricane. Hurricane has been making some noises lately, and I mean good noises. He had always attracted pro players' attention due to his fascinating gameplay mechanics, especially his weapon that can literally splash enemies because of its high fire rate stats and decent damage. However, you have to always watch your distance when attacking someone, otherwise you will be in trouble. Next, we have Levi. She's one of the best picks of all time for so many strong reasons, such as her extended firing range and solid damage output stand out. She does have a few drawbacks though, like her slow aim time, which often forces you to peek or stay behind cover to land your shots accurately. Leviathan is next. This big Kraken is crazy at holding his zone for his team, and he can attack at a wide range because of his unique passives, which help him to reach far targets and even slow them down. His only downside is his small health bar, which is why you don't start a battle unless you have armor on him. Another hero who has basically the same purpose as Leviathan, you could say, is Shenji. He is great at securing big areas thanks to his Fire Hunter ability, which can cover a lot of space to make sure no one can flank. And there's also Shenji's ideal shotgun weapon, which comes super useful at those tight corner fights. Moving to Ghost. His combination of high damage and speed has always been a great factor for easy wins in the game, and Ghost has succeeded at that. In fact, his invisibility makes him even more powerful, as he can roam freely on the map and hunt the weakest enemies to change the battle outcome in his favor. Alice has also been a great choice lately for SMG lovers because of her main ability, which helps her increase her movement speed and teleport from one location to another in the blink of an eye. Her portal skill adds an element of unpredictability as well, allowing her to stay creative and hard to track. Moving to the most independent hero, in my opinion, is Arnie. He can be a dangerous threat because of his highly skilled stealth talents in addition to his powerful shotgun, which can one-shot many heroes. The only thing that holds him back from being in the top is the slow time between shots, which is annoying. Up next is the true predator of the arena, Lynx. Like Arnie, she's famous for her stealthy approach and adaptable combat style. These strengths let her outmaneuver foes in countless ways, especially with her bow, which features two firing modes suited for both close quarters and long-range encounters. Moving to the newest addition, Alter, I don't think he's going to define the meta since his ability isn't exactly game-changing. But the fact that he disappears after a short duration of doing nothing and he gets a secondary chance if he died will make him incredibly annoying to deal with. Players who know how to time their engagements can use this to constantly reset fights, dodge danger, and show up at the perfect moment. Next on top is Angel. As always, I don't believe that Angel will ever be a bad hero because she belongs to the scouts. And SMG heroes are always the strongest due to their high mobility and crazy damage, especially for the fact that the game is extremely fast-paced right now. And only scout heroes such as Angel are keeping up with the meta. Another hero who is as great as Angel, and I don't think any team would like to abandon him anytime soon, is the tactical master, Raven. He is basically the main structure of every hero combination because of his scanning ability and the disarming passive, which helps him carry himself when his team is in a bad shape. You have got the extra firing range as well, after you shoot someone, which is always super useful, so you don't really need to get very close to the enemy. Vi is still showing amazing potential as well in the current meta, despite her many nerfs. The only problem is within her playstyle is that now she has many encounters, such as Graveal and Blizzard. She requires more stealth and discipline than before, and definitely more planning on how to use your dashes. You can't just spam your main ability like before. Speaking of Graveal, he is actually thriving in the battles, and that's due to his broken abilities and weapon firing range. But it's mostly his weapon gameplay mechanics that have taken a big part in making him one of the best heroes to abuse. He can wipe a full team within a few seconds with efficiency. Better than Satoshi, you heard that right. Next up is the Queen of Destruction, Twinkle. She still has that mad look in her eyes, and her main ability is still considered one of the strongest abilities in the game for sure. Because technically, it's just an improved version of Ramsey's main ability, which you can throw from a long distance to deal an insane impact. She also has a powerful weapon that can deal amazing damage, even though her weapon's fire spread might be a bit difficult to control. While Twinkle's style focuses entirely on chaos and destruction, Blizzard is the chill side. Blizzard is simply about capturing the best areas that give her an advantage over the enemy team, and then defending those areas. Which, if you asked me, it's really needed nowadays, specifically when you get one of those maps with close spawn points. That's where she excels the most, and let's not forget the fact that it takes too long for the freezing effect to go off, which makes her truly one of the best heroes without any doubt. The final hero on our list is the Korean superstar Kwon. I know there are probably many arguments about him, but as someone who plays him a lot, I still find him to be one of the remarkable heroes due to his unique ability. His gunplay is still amusing as well, even though it's not that dangerous anymore because of the recent nerfs, as some of the old heroes are better than him in terms of encountering such as Smog, but he remains as one of the solid picks.